They said, once you start talking, the music will stop. So I was just going to sit here and just watch it. By the way, did he say I was the CEO of Scale Venture Partners? No. Oh, thank God. Guys, I'm like, as Doug can tell you, I'm walking a thin line here talking about VC shit. The young investors are like, hey, dude, do not get memed. I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about. Just if there's other guys, do not, quote unquote, meme me. Anyway, I do want to say before I start, this is one of the best show experiences you will ever have in your career, and I'm old as fuck. This is amazing. Let's do a round of applause here for this show. Look at this place. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys about what's known at my old company Topo as the Rosenberg swoop and poop. It'll be a story to get us to where we are today. So last year we did a huge survey on go-to-market AI. I was speaking. By the way, last year a lot easier because the comedian kind of broke the audience a little bit. I was able to come up and look like a hero. That dude was funny. I am screwed. But so we had this data, and I'm getting ready for the event, and I'm like, guys, we gotta go get more data. This was like maybe 3.5 weeks ago. They called Jen. She's like, I'm in. Andy Moat, I'm in. We get 200 respondents. I'm like, guys, go get me some data. So they're doing it every 2 weeks. Every 2 days, they're coming back with ideas. I'm like, I do not see the story. And so, they're like, time's running out. You just gotta go with this. I'm not feeling the story. So then I have to meet with Doug Landis, who's the producer. And by the way, if you don't know, he has incredible instincts. Every single thing that dude has asked me to do in the last 2 years, I do, because I think he's great. And we get on the call, he's like, you don't have a story, and you work at a venture firm, bring venture data, right? And so I go back to the team, I'm like, okay, now we got like a week left, we need venture data. They're like, so they go into Scale Studio, and then the stuff, I'm like, I still don't see the story. Okay, 2 days before I got to get the prezo in, one of our investors, a guy named Max Abram, comes out with a memo. Now, I'm just reading it as part of my job, and I read it, and it's about AI, the AI application space, and I'm like, this is it. It was like in the movies. I print the thing out, I walk into the team, I slap the thing on the table, I said, here's our story. They're like, there's 2 days left. I'm like, fuck them all, we're going, right? And so we just plow through this. The story is from this memo, and it was amazing. Because you guys got to know, I work in venture, but I'm one of you guys. What I do is I do go-to-market advising, and I've been doing it for years. I'm from your side of the fence. But I learn a lot, and I'm in the game, and I want to share with you what I took from that memo, okay? Before I go, you see his X handle or Twitter handle? Follow him or write Craig Rosenberg says hi. I need that. That's the only thing. When I said, hey, I'm going to use this memo, he's like, just make me famous. I said, okay, we got this. But then put your phone away so I can talk about some stuff. All right, so here's what we got today. So one, I'm going to take some of those ideas from the memo, give you guys a little bit of a venture point of view on the app market. The reason I like the memo is because even though, again, I was just doing my job, and I'm like, oh my God, the RevOps people this is like right in their space. And actually, I was saying, this is how you're living. Then we'll talk about some of the implications for RevOps, and then I'm going to get a tattoo today, but listen. I kept editing the watch Craig get a tattoo, and my associate who's in his 20s kept changing it back. Do me a favor. I'm going to get a tattoo. You don't have to watch, all right? But, I mean, I guess if you want to, you can. All right, so the memo is the mile becomes the marathon. I'm going to tell you guys something that you guys are all feeling. So the SaaS era was called, in our thing, was the run fast era, okay? Remember the SaaS era? I don't know, so long ago, like 5 years ago. It was about the sprint. The lead was your moat. So you ran fast, you got a kingmaker round, then you kept running fast. That lead, right, discouraged the competitors from coming in. And you could win at that time on the lead. You guys know this and you feel this. The AI application market is much different, right? There's news about it every day. It's like my prezo is probably obsolete now. There's probably something out there on the internet about someone killing someone. But there's factors here that I'm going to talk about that make it longer. So you still run fast. You actually run faster. I mean, we get people coming in pitching Series A that are doing 15 million, right? So they're running fast. It's about winning in the end. That thing takes time. You got 4 things, and we're going to talk about it. I'm just going to leave it at that and get going. So number 1 is, whoops, let me go back. Number 1 is what we call the bundling war. So as part of the run fast era, you could take a small problem, like sending SDR emails or something. You know, that was it. Look, it was a problem, and it was worth a lot of money, but you could run with that, okay? But now you have to, very early on, bundle your way into something bigger. And you got to do it fast. So if it's run fast, right, the thing you want to run fast is you want to change your surface area. So you guys know TAM because you probably have to do it all the time you're in RevOps. Like, we're going into this market, tell it the TAM. That's a number. If you take go-to-market tech, we used to say there are X number of salespeople in the world, right? That's how we determine whether there was a big market. But the reality is today, you want to look at TAP, the total available problem. You have to take if there's a wedge, you start with a little problem and you make it bigger. Right? You do that by bundling. And in bundling, offense is the best defense. You have to bundle fast. I have a couple examples for you. I'll run through them real quick. I have to do it this way because I tried to change the order last night and I didn't get to it. So I just put this one up. Listen Labs, they announced recently that they were going into simulation. They're synthetic users, right? So they're doing really well. They're Series B, and they're like, we're going into an adjacent category now. That adjacent category has unicorns in it, but that's how you roll today. You have to get into adjacent categories. Remember, one of the things that's affecting all of you today is it's faster, cheaper, and easier to create product. That puts you on defense unless you play offense. Okay, so that was one example. Cursor is another one. You guys, everyone knows them. But look, in 3 years, they had a full dev platform. They started with a wedge, the AI code editor, 3 years. For you guys at like my age, man, that took time. And it was all acquisitions and all of these things. Now you can build products so fast, and in 3 years, you can go from small to big problem. And then we have Clay here. Look at Clay. They start with data. In 3.5 years, they're almost at feature parity with some of the folks that have been around for 20 years. You have to take your wedge and bundle yourself into something big. Okay, so that's one. Okay. I love when people have to do that. There we go. Okay, the second force is your architecture and models that you're used to, they reset every 12 years. The rule used to be 8 to 10. So you could make a run and you could get out the game or get big enough that you could withstand this. Now it's 12 months. By the way, as I was getting up, me and Barros were talking, he's like, did you hear about this? Model resets happen all the time. And that is for us, if you look at the venture world, they make an investment in 12 months, right? You can get hit. So what are they looking for? They're looking for, are these founders, all these executives, do they have the courage to burn the boats? And so I know Finn is here. I meant, is your name Finn? Yeah. You got to do it. You got to change your name to Finn, just like Intercom did. I love this guy. So Intercom, you want courage? They were like at almost 300 million. So they were a real SaaS app, model change, bam. Parallel build of Finn. Finn is like 100 million. They're beating AI-first startups. I mean, you guys have been in the game. That does not happen. The incumbents often have the lead and they live off and they go, we're in the enterprise when the little guys come. They were like, no, the model changed. We're going to build Finn. Now their company's called Finn. You guys know Mutiny? She did the same thing. She said, shut it down, come back AI first. That's crazy. That's crazy for us as RevOps people, as trying to make investments and figure out what's what. And in 12 months, the whole architecture, the whole world changes. Okay, the second thing is, remember, the moat was your lead before. That's not the case, and this takes time. let's just talk about these things. So there's three, really two go together. One is the data flywheel. You guys all know this, but we got to take it in. It's like, look, Gong's got millions of sales calls. Millions. That's a data flywheel. You can do a lot with that. It takes time for your competitors to try to get there, right? Time. The other one is business logic process lock-in. So, a lot of you guys are building into Clay. That's good for Clay, right? Because that is the kind of lock-in you need. If you take Salesforce, I know, old school, everyone would say like one of the moats was moving the data, but actually the real moat was you built your entire revenue process through that. You would have to tear down everything you built to move off it. Now the AI companies need to do the same. They need you to build your business on this. And that takes time. So that's why we went from run fast sprinting to marathons. Okay, Force 4, it's hard to control. Competition with the labs, of course, right? And the big horizontal AI platforms, if they come, it's tough. So there's a couple ways this happens. One is direct, it's rare, it's also deadly. If like Claude Design, Claude for, they come out and it's a real product, it's coming direct after a market. What are you going to do? But the big one that happens to everyone all the time is the incidental. They have no idea who you are. But the new model comes out and commoditizes what you do. That's dangerous, man. That is a new game for us, and that's why we're all nervous. That's why everyone here comes here to have fun and get fucked up. Because holy shit. All right? So look, what does it mean for us? Let's talk about it. So I thought about four things when I was reading the memo. I'm very excited. I get to do this like the last guy. So four things. One, we need humans to get this done now. Two, we got to have the agility to deal with the uncertainty. And then three, building and buying. And fourth, measurement. Okay? So those are the four things we're going to talk about today. So number one, humans. Someone needs to own AI, and then we got to let them cook. Thank you. Whoever that was how I was supposed to react. You're awesome. We were talking after. I like this person. Let's try this again. Okay. Someone needs to own the AI, and then we get to let them cook. Thank you. But here's the thing, guys. We did that survey. 31% of you said you have no AI owner. 66% said you still don't have a go-to-market engineer. Okay, let me just give you an example. I don't know if you guys were at SaaStr, but Anthropic came and talked about their go-to-market machine. So they got 3 people dedicated to the go-to-market and sales process, people, okay? And one of the things I just took one. It's like you want to have these big numbers. These are the big numbers you want. They went from 45 minutes to 4 minutes for a proposal. Now, there's people here that can help you with that, right? There's vendors here that can help you with that. But like, my main point was not, whether you should create a proposal or not. Fix your proposal process or not. The main thing is people did it, right? So we got people, and we got to figure out what we're asking them to build. Here's what I'm seeing. So we got 2 types of folks that we need on our team. And look, when we looked at the data, like you guys there was very little attrition in your teams. As a matter of fact, a percentage of you are building them. And don't worry, when I'm in the room with people that are supposed to give you the money, I tell them, if you want to do this go-to-market AI thing, but more importantly, you want to do big things, they need people. So talk to me if you need me to talk to them. I charge like a percentage of whatever you get. All right, so one is the composer. Composers are the folks that take the AI tools and and put the business logic from their learnings and make sure that everything that we're getting from the AI works, or they're assembling workflow tools to make sure that we're doing big things on the go-to-market side, because that's different than the builder. The builder is actually building agents and an actual engineer, part of the go-to-market engineer. Okay? I'll just give you one thing. I know I'm not supposed to rant, but like sales enablement, are there like people that are in sales enablement here? Okay. All 2 of you. I'm in good shape for this take. The composers will take over sales enablement. It's not because sales enablement sucks. Sales enablement will still exist, but if you think about it, we're using so many tools to deliver on sales enablement. The composers will take from you guys, don't worry, you're good, and then they'll put it into the machines, right? That's an example there. All right, agility. Agility, is your stack ready for the challenge? When we ask you guys, 57% of you say you still have fragmented and messy data. That's one of your blockers. What Jen would say is, oh, come on, man. It's never been cheaper to fix your data. You're always going to say that. But the main thing that we need to be able to do is, it's not just the data. It's all the plugins and all the things in the data flows. Because we need a platform we can put things in and pull things out. Because you saw what happens, you guys feel what happens. Your product that you bought or built can get obsoleted literally in one announcement. So we want to build a platform that can hold all our things and be able to pull things in, pull it out, and stitches everything together. And then we need to be ruthless, absolutely ruthless about what you have in the stack. Regularly is whatever you want to do, but do not make it more than 3 months. You literally have to objectively look at the stack and figure out, is this thing going to make it? And what does it mean for us? Because you're just like the vendors. You got to make sure you don't get caught with your pants down. And to do that, we need to be ruthlessly auditing ourselves. All right, so build or buy is actually build and buy. When we look, 46% of you still build. That's great. Last year was in the 30s. But look, 38% of you still buy. We're building and buying. That's fine, right? There's a lot of reasons to buy. There is. It could be problems that you don't want to solve, but more importantly, you want their expertise in the domain or in the workflow. Those things are good. That's why 40% of you still do it. Now, do I think you should build and token max? Sorry, I had to throw that in. Max told me to throw that in. Yeah, you should. Because the most important thing is what I'm going to talk about right now. The most important thing is not going to an expert and saying, should I build or buy? That's your question. Because the most important thing is, we got to go big or go home. So when Doug came to me and said, look, you got to tell them how they're going to measure. By the way, this does not look like Doug, but it does look like me, doesn't it? So look, we got to figure out, right, the big things. If you look at what you guys are doing today, this is great. By the way, the 30% not measuring, I'm cool with that. If you're in phase 1, it's like the Gary V thing. It's the ROI of your mom. You just got to get into AI. Once you do, though, then we got to think big. And a lot of you guys are doing amazing things, right? If you look at the vast majority of the pie, you're looking at real things that matter. When people ask me what matters to the board, I can tell you this. There was a quarter where the partners would come in and say, what is the portfolio doing with AI? And then that went away. Now they say, where's the growth? Where's the efficiency, et cetera? Look, you guys are RevOps people. You guys have the opportunity to do big things now. And that's how I want to just impress upon you before I leave. Think big, okay? Because if you want to ask me, the board doesn't care if you modified an email that got a 5% higher conversion rate. What they want is big. You want big? I was just reading today that Chris Orlov said people are at a 30% quota attainment rate. There's a 20% conversion rate on opportunities. That's big. Let's go fix that, because you can. You can. And you will, because you guys actually hold the keys to the king. Everything today is coming out of AI, so we can go fix and help the humans. And when we do, we can do big things, not small things. All right, so finally, last thing. I'm going to go get a tattoo. It's not going to be this one, okay? But I am going to go get a tattoo because this place is awesome. By the way, I had to get a tattoo. My wife's like, wait, you're getting a tattoo at a conference? I'm like, fuck yeah, I am. This is RevFest, motherfucker. Let's go. Thanks, guys.